Salute everyone. It's the real buzz. Your man Divine and CT Knicks Real Talk. The streets are buzzing. We in the building tonight, man. We're gonna give y'all a little Knick content and NBA content tonight. So without further ado, man, let me bring in my partner in crime, man. CT, what's good, my brother?
Hey, salute Divine, salute everyone. Hope you're well. A lot of buzz swirling, man. I'm excited. Let's get it.
Yeah, real talk, man. There's a lot of things going on right now with the team and the NBA per se. So we're gonna break all that good stuff down, man. Get into our beloved Knicks. Then we're gonna jump into the NBA. We got a lot of things going on around the association, man. All issues from COVID to everything. So, but first and foremost, we're gonna get into it with our beloved Knicks, man. And right now, coming off a 3-game losing streak, we headed down to San Antonio tomorrow. So, we had a pretty rough stretch this week, man. But hopefully, we can go down there and bounce back and try to get back on our winning ways. It's really been tough, man. So we got a lot to talk about. But let's see, we can go down to the Alamo and CT and try to get back into some winning ways, man, and see if we can get W tomorrow.
Yeah, for real, Divine. Everyone, the home record hasn't been kind to us. So let's hope. Also Texas hasn't been kind to us, but let's hope we can find some winning formula. On the road, the New York Knicks escape an incoming storm. New York media swirling, buzzing. Like you said, hopefully the squad can get on the road, find some harmony. In the words of Clyde, find some harmony, some camaraderie, and bond. Spend some time together, clear their mind, clear their heads. A lot of soul searching, like the player said, Julius Randle, looking in the mirror, all of that. Let's get it.
Yeah, absolutely. It has been a pretty atrocious week for us, man. And like I said, we had a 3-game losing streak. We had one of our players who had to been benched. One of our key players had to go down and come out of the rotation. So it's been kind of crazy. On top of that, with the losing, so you have the lineup situation that New York media probably ran to the out of the blues with it, with that the Kemba Walker situation and him being benched out of the rotation. Along with that, we on a 3-game losing streak. So, everything just swirling around us is like, I want to say it's not a positive situation for us, um, you know, input of voices and people's concerns about the team, the way the fan base is feeling this week after having 3-game losing streak, losing in Madison Square Garden, not protecting the home court in the world most famous arena. So just a lot of stuff going around that got us feeling some type of way right now, the fan base. But I think we all get back to our winning ways once the winning cures all. Once we get some wins, at least get one win first, we'll feel more better about ourselves after this abysmal week we had. It was abysmal, to be sure. Our defense didn't come to play this week like we wanted them to, man, and we lost 3 out of the last 4 games. It's been pretty tough, man. But I want to hopefully it's a new day. You know what I mean? And hopefully we can go down to San Antonio tomorrow and start a winning streak. Try to erase some of the bad taste in our mouth that we had the last couple of days, man, because of we losing and everything else. So let's see if we can go down here and get a poppin' tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. We're falling short of expectations so far, and let's hope that the players, we're reaching a pivotal juncture of the season, right? What are we, 23 games in? Hit the quarter way mark, heading into the halfway mark. We know that's when the buzz starts to increase. You got trade restrictions easing, trade deadline, all-star buzz, all of that. This is the pivotal quarter of the season, Divine. Got all the rust off. Players can't use any excuses like, we're trying to gel or we're trying to find chemistry, all of that. If you haven't got no chemistry now, then it's probably never going to come. So I'm looking for what comes next, who steps up, who picks up their game, what shake up, what lineups get changed around. Tom Thibodeau, he spoke about it today, which we'll get into a bit more later, but yeah, basically everyone's on the clock right now, and this New York Knicks team needs to come out with some fire on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. We need a bad CT, to be honest with you, man. Me as a Knicks fan, you know me, I'm Mr. Optimistic about the Knicks. I try to stay positive about a lot of things, but this week really took me for a loop. This is one time where I felt as a Knicks fan that I was upset the day we lost to Denver Nuggets. I was really disappointed about the way our boys played it. Normally, I could live with a loss. I could live with all that. But, just to lose the way we did this week. And we had some tough 4 games. We played 2 good ones against Brooklyn and Chicago. But the Denver game was a little bit disappointing. But hey, we live to fight another day. It's water under the bridge. We can't harp on the things that happened in the past, but we just got to look forward. And I think going down to San Antonio and then going to Indiana on a back-to-back, and then we got a game against the Toronto Raptors. So we got a 3-game road trip, 3 games in 4 nights basically, and we need to go in here and try to just salvage the what we could salvage right now until we get back on the grind. But I think, like you said, we got a lot of things that might be taking place. It's something we could talk about, going forward down in another segment of the show. But it's been tough, man. It's been tough, But we've been eating humble pie for a minute, man. We had a lot of expectations as a fan base at the time of the season. At least on paper, we thought this team was going to be different than they are. But I always say, man, it's better to go through it now than go through it later. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of glad we're going through all these Knicks and Brewers, going through all these changes and everything like that, because you rather do it now, when you got a chance to correct yourself going forward, than wait to the end of the season when you don't have time to correct yourself, and next thing you know, you're out of the picture. But I'm confident and I believe in this team, man. I believe in the organization. I believe in Tibbs as the coach. You know what I mean? I'm not on that bandwagon where people are firing people and start doing this and that. It's too early for that. But I do know as time go on, if things don't get better, then I can understand why the rumblings are out there. Let's see if we can get this thing together, man, and turn this ship around and steer it in the right direction, man, and get back to some W's. I think it all starts tomorrow down in the Alamo.
Yeah, the beautiful thing about the NBA, you live to fight another day. That's my motto, right? As long as you have a pulse, you have a chance to correct your wrongs, from the past, and it's time to look ahead now. Look what's in front of us right now. I think what happened was after the Brooklyn and the tough loss to Chicago, it was difficult to move past those games for the way they transpired, and I think they carried that into the Denver game, right? You can't be doing that in the NBA, Once the buzz is over, look ahead to the next one, fully focus on that, because it's just going to hurt you psychologically, thinking about these close rivals, these close losses, So we live to fight another day. Let's go into on the road, put in some much better effort, better performances, play harder. Interested to see what Tibbs does, what he shakes up. We heard from Kemba Walker, which we'll talk about in the next topic. But yeah, basically that the players know that the honeymoon period's over now. So there's no more excuses. Let's just do all the talking on the court.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you touched on a great point there, man. Like after them 2 games, so you had to learn how to just brush your shoulders off, block it all out. And I know it was deflating to come up so close, but yet so far. But still, you got to block that out at the team and say, you know what, we lost 2 tough games, man. This is the one we need to fight and steal. And I agree with you 100% so much that I think they came out there and let the air got taken out of the cell, and they just didn't come out there with that grit and grind and fight. And you let a depleted Denver team, do that to you. But I can see why it happened, because you know what, mentally, all them two losses against Brooklyn and Chicago drained it all out of you mentally. But what makes a team stronger, that you learn how to fight through them things and bounce back and regroup and don't let the game in the past affect the game in the present. And I think that's what happened this week. They let one game affect the other. The next thing you know, it all snowballed. But a break came just in time. A road trip came just in time to get up out of New York City, to get out of Madison Square Garden, to get away from the media and the family and everything, and focus on your teammates. Focus on the guys who you're going to war with on that court, and try to bond with them, like you said, and sit down there and build with each other and talk about the things you don't like and talk about the things you do like, and accept your responsibility and own up to your stuff and keep it moving. So I do think that hopefully that's what they're doing out there. They team bonding, because this is a pivotal stretch, man. We got 3 road games in a row, and we can't afford to go down 0-3. That just would not look good for us.
For sure, and the deeper we fall into this hole, the bigger the shake-up's going to be, because this front office isn't going to take losing on their record right now, on their resume. From all accounts we've seen, they're movers and shakers, and they've done the thing with Kemba. They'll shake it up again and again and again. And as we get closer to the trade restrictions, trade deadline, we'll have a lot more to chop up. We'll have some guests coming on, and I look forward to that coming up. But right now it's back to business, and let's go to a place where we haven't had a lot of luck most recently. That would be impressive, Divine, to go to Texas, beat Indiana again, and beat Toronto, who we lost. That'd be impressive to get some wins there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's real talk, man. And we haven't won in the Alamo in a while down there at the AT&T Center, but we gotta go down there and fight and grind. So I hope we will. Because we need all our horses to be ready, man. Like I said, they're gonna be thinking about some things, Mueller and Lionel Trader. But for us, Kemba Walker thing, man. You know what? Kemba Walker addressed the media this week. He has some positive things to say, but you can tell deep down inside the man is burning. He's burning in there. You know what I mean? And I can understand that, man. Because a young man like that who's been in the league for 10 years, full-time All-Star, all third All-Team NBA, he got pride, and he believed he still got what it takes to help this team out. So and it's just tough that he can't be in this situation to help perform and do that thing because the liability that he has upon him that just not helping the team. You know what I mean? But I'm glad to see that he was he got a real sense of character. The man took it with a grain of salt and realized that it's about the team, not about him. At least in front of the media. So I'm happy that he did that and held himself to a high standard. Like you said, man. What example would he be showing the young guys if he go out there and just be taking this the wrong way? So I'm glad to hear him talk like that and realize that this is a business. And you had the time in the NBA. You did some great things for the Charlotte Hornets. You got to be proud of what you did, but sometimes time catch up to you, man. And he might not be finished, but right now for the Knicks, he's just not what we need right now at the starting point guard because of the defense liabilities to me. Yeah, but it's important that he keep grinding those CT.
Yep. Yeah, no, I agree, man. He said all the right things, and that's Kemba Walker. He comes in with high character. He knows what he's judged on. Coming home, he's got a lot of friends, family, colleagues, family in the city that look up to him. And he said all the right things, and he's been great on the sidelines, and no doubt he'll be great. I just think he looked quite at peace because I think he knows he's going to be moved along. A trade's going to come divine. He just probably wants to make the most of while he's a New York Knick. He wants to have the story end well, as well as it can end. I guess, it's a difficult circumstance for everybody, difficult, that it came to this. But the truth be told, he's just not the same player anymore. But he can help a team. He can help a team. I wouldn't mind him staying on the roster for the rest of the season. But I think his pride, he'll definitely be able to contribute to some other squad. So I think let's find the right trade coming up. And in the coming weeks, let's just make the most of while he's a New York Knick.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe that Leon Rose and Scott Perry them and do the right thing. I really do believe that. But I do think that it's time to move on from him, send him to a contender. And I would love to see the Knicks find a way to send him to a contender where he got an opportunity to go out there and win a ring. You know what I mean? Like I said, he's been a stand-up citizen in the NBA, a model citizen of the NBA, a great character guy for the NBA. And I think he deserves that. He came here. We tried to make it work with us, but unfortunately, it didn't work. You know what I mean? I think the Knicks do the right thing by him because I know he know that his time is limited here. I know he knows his time is limited here, and he just got to sit there and keep that good character with you because you know what? It makes it easier for you to get traded to another team. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want nobody who to come in who they think going to be a drama-filled person, but he's not that dude. So he's not going to have a problem fitting in with any team because of who he is as a person and what he stands for. So we wish it would have worked out for Kemba Walker here, man. I really do, man. I thought that was a good piece to have, and but unfortunately, he's not the reason why the Knicks are losing. You know what I mean? He's not the reason why the team is 11-12. He just part of this team that he doesn't fit what we're trying to do. I guess from a coach's standpoint. So let's see how it goes, man. Let's hope he catch sail. He get to a place where he can get his feet wet, man. Help provide a spark for them guys. Because I do think he got basketball left in him to help the team. I mean, he played 43 games last year for Boston Celtics. He averaged 19 a game. It's pretty good scoring numbers, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's not only about scoring either, you know what I mean? It's about overall game, you know what I mean? And I just think because of the type of team we have, the type of coach Ted is, and he's a defense first type of guy. His mentality has always been that way. That's where I think he fell short at.
Yeah, I agree. And nobody knows when they can know when they lose a step. It just happens overnight sometimes. You go from 29, 30, you're balling out 19 points per game, and then bam, the next season it just hits. You're just not the same player anymore. Now, for some players, it's a slower process, like LeBron James. You see him slowly slowing down, but not to the halt that Kemba Walker's game has come to a halt. But like you said, I think he's just needs to realize he's a bench player, like Carmelo Anthony right now. And that's no shame. Some of the best to ever do it, lit people up off the bench. Jamal Crawford's shout out, Lou Will shout out, Jordan Clarkson, all these fellas. So there's no shame in it. He just needs to be a spark plug off the bench now. That's just what he is. He's not a starting guard anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also that'll prolong his career. I think it'll prolong his career. He has set that role and relish it and make the best of it. I think the man got some basketball that he can definitely help a team out. He got a lot of basketball to give. Might not be at a high level, but Kemba Walker at 75% just as good as a lot of players in this league from an offensive standpoint. And I hope it works out for him that way, because I really do believe that he would have made a difference in New York, under different circumstances. Pardon me, but he just got to keep it moving, man. And I understand how you feel. I understand his pride probably took a hit, but I believe that he's a prideful guy. But I also know that he's a real strong character and strong-minded guy. And much as it burned him in the inside to feel some type of way because of being taken out of rotation, I do believe because of who he is, he's going to handle it well. He's not going to cause no drama. He's just going to accept his role and wait to hopefully, then hopefully sooner than later, the Knicks are moving somewhere where it works out for both teams. So let's see how that goes. We keep our ears to the ground about that and our eyes open to see how that goes. But I do foresee him not being with the Knicks, the rest of this year. I do believe he will get moved.
Yeah, and I want to bring up the great point you made in our post games about the plan to showcase him, as the spokesperson of the city uniforms, city editions, and what that meant for Julius Randle, Divine, like, your franchise guy who signed the max deal. I know Kemba Walker came in here with some buzz, but that's not a good look at the minute right now. And like you said, Julius Randle maybe felt some type of way, right? Julius Randle on opening night, you were there. He was the one that addressed everyone on the mic, to introduce the season to everybody. And they chose Kemba Walker to do the city uniforms, and the fact that he's not even may not finish half a season with us. It was a failed experiment, but that's exactly what it was. It was an experiment. I said that before the season that I think the Kemba Walker thing was a stopgap, and I thought it would last a little bit longer. But hey, sometimes you just got to rip that Band-Aid off quicker, and then they'll let the wound heal by itself. So let's move onwards and upwards.
Yeah, real talk. I think you're exactly 100% right about that, man. And it had to have been an experiment, But you know what? It was an experiment that just didn't go the way it go. Like I always say, man, sometimes you get a relationship with a person, and then you think it's going to work and it don't work, and you just got to let it go. You got to leave her or leave him. It just don't work out. And but there's no shade to be thrown at nobody. The Knicks gave him a chance to come here. He gave the Knicks a chance to use his talents here, but it just didn't go the way we had planned it to go, and that's all right. Nobody's perfect, but and he just got to keep moving, and because I do think if we don't move him, then that buzz will be out there all year long, and it won't be no real buzz. It'll be negative buzz, on a real buzz, we don't want to even talk about no negative stuff like that. We don't have to, So let's let him, hopefully he move on to the next team, man, and catch a groove. Just lonely going to a team that's not going to hurt us in the playoffs when we get there. You know what I'm saying? Let's hope Kemba Walker go out west somewhere. See team somewhere where he won't be able to come back and haunt the Knicks or something. So, but we wish him the best if he get moved, man. And we appreciate your little stint in New York, man. Thanks for coming back to the world most famous arena and home. But it just didn't work. So salute to Kemba Walker, man. If he's not going to be here, man. But what a high character guy. You can appreciate somebody like that, man, who's taking this thing for what it is and being respectful, being mindful that it's not about him, it's about the team. I love when he said that, and I just think it's so true that sometimes you got to, swallow your pride and to take the ego out of all this stuff and just realize that it is a business. You know what I mean? And you just landed in a spot where maybe it just wasn't the best spot for you. It don't mean the Knicks didn't want you. Don't mean they don't care for you because they wouldn't have brought you in if they didn't want you. But as we started playing games, we seen that he wasn't the type of player that the coach thought that can get us over the hump as a starting point guard. And Tom Thibodeau said that he views him as a starting point guard. So I understand why he probably don't want to put him in the second unit because I get it and all that. So let's hope that we give value for value. And it works out for us and him.
Yeah, that's a great point. You mentioned, he sees him as a starter. He's not a starter, then just move on, I guess. 31 years of age, and understanding that the player may want to find a new situation as well. First and foremost, I'm loving what the organization in the past has been doing, the right thing by the players. Letting them dictate their own terms. Austin Rivers, I draw a comparison to that last season. It wasn't working out and they swiftly dealt with it. They didn't let that negativity linger around. And I think, they're going to do right by Kemba as well. Let's hope he doesn't go to Brooklyn. I joked about that. Send him out to LA where the weather's nice. Send him out to Utah or something,
Mm-hmm.
A contending club like Utah could do with a player like that,
Yep.
The Clippers or someone like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of teams in the West who could use them. Dallas, them guys. Anybody who's here fight for a playoff run, and they can use him. Let's hope the best for him, man. But you know what? Like I said, salute to Kemba Walker, man, for being a soldier, being an honorable guy, and stand-up guy, respectful guy for the organization. We didn't have enough time to really get to enjoy him, but it's understandable. Like I said, things don't work out sometimes. You got to move on. So we're gonna move on as well. We just move on to the next segment, man. And that's is Tibbs gonna mule changing the lineup? Is he gonna go through that change, the lineup change again? And I heard him say something in the media that he haven't got to that point yet, but he's been thinking about it. So I think it's very possible that you might see another person change in that starting lineup. The only two guys come to mind to me is Emmanuel Quickly and Obi Toppin for me. That I think that would to make a difference. I don't think he want to put D Rose there because I think he loves him where he at. But so we have to keep an eye on that tomorrow and going forward. If he's going to make a lineup change, you're going to take some personnel, switch it around. You're going to have some rookies come up and play. It remains to be seen. But I'm looking forward to what can be with this situation because there's a lot of things he can do there that might can better this team. We just have to see how it goes.
Yeah, I agree. Part of me thinks it could be the IQ thing. IQ seems destined to have a try, have a go at it. The next young guard, for our future. If not, maybe he goes back to what he knows, tries and tested Derrick Rose. Maybe Derrick Rose, if he's healthy enough, he starts. IQ stays on the bench, and then they bring in Quentin Grimes in a more prominent role. Or Deuce McBride. Lucas Samanic has been balling out. Like we know, there's a lot of buzz around him and Deuce doing what they're doing. And I think they're giving them all the reps they can get, Divine, in the G League within mind that they might be needing them later in the season or sooner rather than later. Also, they could be showcasing them as a trade, as a throw-in in a bigger trade too. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what's up. I'm glad that Tibbs is no nonsense. He speaks his mind. So he doesn't take us all for dummies. He says what he's thinking, and that whatever he's saying, we can look forward to seeing at some point in time because that's what he's planning.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing we can always get out of Coach Tibbs is the truth. He speaks truth to power. He does. And it's not too many things that he don't say that he don't do. And since he's been here, the Knicks coach, pretty much everything that I hear him say that he's gonna do, he have done. So and I can understand the line of change. I just think it's needed right now. We got to find some energy and some intensity in that first unit. And I do think guys like I was reading on one of the shows where they're talking about the Knicks should be giving Obi Toppin a chance. Now me, I've been talking about that for a minute. I think somebody 6'8" or whatever, 6'9", with that freakish athleticism and that speed and that intensity up and down the court, he might be what we need in that starting lineup. So between him and Quickly, I definitely don't have no problem with either one. I don't even have a problem they threw a rookie in there, but I do know that we got to balance this thing out. We need a little bit more energy down there. You know what I mean? And hopefully whatever Tibbs decide to do, he doing it for the team to be better and to get us on some winning ways. And I don't think he's doing it just to be doing it. I think he's doing it because he need to figure this thing out because he don't want this ship to sink. You know what I mean? I think he wanted to make sure it stay the course until we get ready to get on the roll. Like I said, the Eastern Conference, we'll talk about that in a few minutes. It's so bunched up, it's so tight. We just got to find a way to grab a couple of wins, and that thing, man, we'd be back up there. So I think him muling the lineup change is understandable, and I think we'll know by tomorrow night before game time whether he's going to make that move or he's contemplating about it, whether he's going to bring it into fruition, or we had to see.
Yeah, and on the point you made about Obi, the center spot, we can't forget about that. That could be a place that he looks to make some sort of move.
Mm-hmm.
We've been getting no consistency out of any player at the 5 spot. It's been Mitch in and out, banged up, inconsistent. Nerlens Noel, banged up, inconsistent. I mean, he's got to be frustrated at that spot. We got absolutely lit up by Nikola Jokic. Nobody could hang with him. I think Taj Gibson, still has a prominent role on this team because he's a little bit more consistent. And Obi Toppin at the 5, that could be something that he's really looking at longer term too. Maybe that's where Luka Samanic may come into the picture. But we'll talk about a bit later in terms of some lay it out there, some bold predictions and safe bets. But I do think one of our centers will be on the trade block.
Yeah, absolutely. I do too. And I'm starting to hear that buzz a little bit myself. And it's interesting because you look at the Noel situation, how many games he lost. He lost almost 2.7 million to 1 point, cap out of 1.3 million in bonuses. He missed that in the centers and bonuses because he ain't been healthy. So with that contract he just signed, to be able to get like maybe 2.7 or 2.4 in the bonus incentive, actually it's 2.7 million in bonus incentives, but I guess because he was injured, he didn't reach that goal. But between him and Mitch, I think we got to keep an eye on that dilemma because I don't think the Knicks can carry all 3 of them centers with him, Todd Gibson, and Nerlens Noel, knowing that you do got Obi who might play small ball 5 with Julius Randle, who like you say, you got Luka Samanic who can play the stretch 4 and 5. So it might be a situation where we do make some lineup changes. You might definitely see it there first at the center spot. I think he might say, listen, I'm gonna have to go another route, and that's understandable. So we're gonna definitely see what's going on in the next couple of days and see how this week goes. If we losing, we're gonna hear a lot more about it. If we winning, then you might not hear as much. But I do think that Kemba Walker will be on the move. I do think that one of the centers will be on the move, and maybe some situational guys who just not playing like Knox and them guys, they might be on the move. I don't think I'm not saying they won't go through the season with them, but it's hard to imagine them going through the rest of the season with the same guys we got if we're not playing better basketball.
Yeah, I agree. And part of his justification, looking at that, could be the offense for me. Like I've always found we just get off to slow starts, and especially when down the stretch when you can't play these guys because they don't give us offense. Too, you need offense out of your 5, right? To their credit, they hustle, they play as hard as they can, but they just don't give you any offense. You're playing 4 on 5 most nights. Nerlens Noel cannot catch a ball. Mitchell Robinson's all over the place too. I think we get a stretch 5 in, a guy who can score 10, 15 points with ease. That's just going to change our offense. It's going to relieve a lot more pressure off everybody. You look at these top teams, they've usually got 5 guys that can all put it in the hoop. And so, yeah, that could be part of what he's looking at. Let's see. I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. This is like that Wall Street trading type feeling. You know what I mean? You wake up in the morning looking at the tickers, see what stocks are going up and down. So that's what it feels like right now because it's December 15th right around the corner. Next thing you know, before you know it, the trading deadline will be here. This thing go fast, man. You know what I mean? And before you know it, December will be over. You know what I mean? And I do think that we're gonna have to, like I said, keep our ears to the ground, our eyes open, because I think a change is coming. What change it is or who it may be, I have no idea, but I do know a change is coming, and I think it's going to start with a change in the starting lineup again, and then after that, for me, I think then it goes to trades or whatever the case may be. So whatever way it goes, man, I hope it just works out for us, man, and it makes the team better. No matter which way it goes or which way he does, it makes the team better. And it gets us more competitive and gets us more hungry and get guys in here who really got that it in them. And I think that's what we got to do, man. So I know if it starts tomorrow night, whether he changed the starting lineup or not, I'm not sure. But moving forward, if we keep taking the L's, I think you will see a drastic change in that team. I just think that they're not going to go for that. Where they can salvage the season early if we get down to that.
Yeah, they ain't going out like this. There's no way. Especially they know how tough the East is now, the league is. And to be honest with you, even if we got off to a better start, like I did a show, before the season about what was Leon's next big move, and basically I knew that this roster was just a stopgap in a way, just to see how far we could go with it, till we then make the next big leap, the big upgrade. Dame Lillard or a Ben Simmons or a Karl Towns, somebody, because we knew we can't rock with Julius by himself all along. I'd hoped RJ would take a next step sooner than later. Now he's regressed, so that's the biggest eye-opening thing for me for this season, Divine. RJ Barrett, what's been the biggest eye-opening thing for you this season in terms of underachieving?
He's definitely one of them, but for me, I think it had to be Evan Fournier. I thought Evan Fournier would come give us a little bit more, and I get it the way he started. I understand it. The guy moving to New York, coming out of the Olympics, and going right to training camp. I get it. Maybe the leg just wasn't under him, but I did expect more from him, and I also didn't think that Noel would come out the gate injured. And the guy haven't even played a lot of games for us. So, but that was one of my biggest surprises was truly Evan Fournier and Nerlens Noel. I thought that because he's not healthy, so I thought we missed him a lot. If he would have came into the season healthy, because I think he would have came into the season healthy, we wouldn't have had to rush Mitch back. You know what I mean? So that was one of the biggest surprises to me was the regression of Nerlens Noel because of injuries. I think that set us back a little bit, because I do think that you asked Mitchell Robinson, who haven't played basketball prior to the season starting in 8 to 9 months, condition is not even there, and had to go in there in the first game of the season, come in because Noel is out and log all the minutes and play with pretty much no stamina or nothing. So that was a big surprise for me.
Yeah, and I think that's caught them off guard. Like you said, Nerlens was a warrior last season, a stalwart. Basically, was never injured. And I think what they saw in the playoffs earned him, that contract. They thought that he could live up to that and contribute on a nightly basis. Be that great defensive anchor, and he's still capable of being that, but he's just not healthy. Your best ability is your availability, and I guess Nerlens, the averages of Nerlens Noel's career is tilting back towards that he's always injured. Maybe last season was just a luck, sort of a lucky run, but like you said, unfortunately, we always seem to pay somebody and then they regress. I don't blame any Knicks fan for their PTSD and that. We bring in every former All-Star, over 30 years old player, or a player coming off a good season or two. They put a New York Knicks jersey on, and they suddenly lose all their abilities.
Absolutely, so, it's something. But yeah, that seemed like it had been for us, CT. It seemed like, but hopefully, after this round, man, we Tibbs need to at the Mutis lineup change. He just got to get somebody in there that can really bring it, and we know what. To be honest with you, we need a star. We always try to get by with we need a star to go along with Julius Randle. I think we need another guy who demand that respect from his peers around the league. I think when you demand that respect from your peers, they know that how you get down, it makes it easier for the rest of the team, because they be like, listen, this cat, he can have our back. Like, we don't have nobody to have our back right now. Like when Julius Randle is struggling, who's that player that can have our back, or just put the franchise on his back and take them to this until things get better the next game. That's why I do think that we need to go out there eventually, maybe not now, but eventually get a mega dude who could play for the big moments, who not scared of the big moments, who not scared of crunch time, who knows his skill set is dominant. He can make a difference on the team no matter how somebody else's night is going. And I think we need that guy down there. I think you get somebody to pair with Julius Randle like that, CT. I think the Knicks would be better off. You know what I mean? And we do have the infrastructure to do it. We got the capital. You know, we got good contracts. We got draft picks. So I think it will get done eventually. You know what I mean? Because it seems like we need to get that done for sure.
Yeah, that point you made about the star and having that next guy that can help us carry us to that next step. You know, we touched on it, you know, in the post games about the Knicks failed draft, you know, last few drafts, you know, from 2017 onwards with the Franks, the Knoxes, you know, that set this franchise back. I'm not going to lie. You know, the fact is, you know, one of those picks pans out, we could be closer to contention than we think. And you know, we whiffed plain and simply on those, and it hurts. But you know, at the end of the day, we have a new scouting department in here. You know, those picks are a thing of the past. You know, Kevin Knox will probably end up moving on from him, and that whole rookie contract will be a waste. Frank's entire rookie contract was a waste. Let's hope we don't do the same thing with Obi Toppin. If he's not part of the future, let's hope we get something for him until it's too late.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this regime might be a little different. I think Deion Rosen will probably do something like that. They won't let that go that way. Because I think, like I said, we didn't hit on them picks, and it cost our franchise. We had an 8th and 9th pick that didn't pan out for us. So, you know, we literally gave away 4 years of money that didn't even produce any type of results for us, unless you just was a fan favorite, or you know what I mean. Other than that, you know what I mean. And I think we felt comfortable with dealing with mediocrity and accepting that. Like, you know, we love Frank. Everybody loved Frank, but Frank still was a mediocre ball player. You know, we love Knox. You know, we love Knox. He's a mediocre ball player. And I think we got to get out of that mentality. Like, you know, and accept the fact that it just didn't work. And, you know, we want him to be good. We want him to be better. But you know, that's not where we at right now, the organization. So I do think we got to get away from that mindset where, you know, we fall in love with guys because they drafted him. No, if they drafted him, he don't pan out. Then we didn't do ourselves a good service, and we did a disservice to the franchise because we bought guys. And think about it, who you could have got in place of them guys. Look how many guys fell below them that would wind up to be all-stars. One of them is a borderline superstar right now. So, you know, it's a tough decision, man. But hopefully we move forward. We just got to get rid of that type of mentality, man, and go in there and get the guy that we need, who we think on pop. And I think we did a good job this year. I do believe we got some guys there this year, CT, that really, I think you get them cats the opportunities. You know, I think they'll make a big difference for the Knicks. They won't be like Knox and Frank and them guys. These guys, 4 years of college, most of them. Deuce 4 years. I think Grimes close to 4 years. Sims did 4 years. So they brought in guys who did 4 years of school who might be a little bit more experienced. And that way, if they get into the situation, they just could throw them in there.
Yeah. And one thing the Knicks have never had any issue with is hitting on the smaller moves, the smaller picks. You know, we get the Mitchell Robs, we get, you know, draft and stash, Jericho Sims, Roka Vidas, you know, Miles McBride. You know, easier for higher picks to live up to their potential because there was less expectations. Where we're whiffed is all those higher picks, you know, where the pressure was on, you know, and we just missed out on so many quality players, like we touched on the Devin Bookers, Donovan Mitchells, Mikal Bridges, Miles Bridges, Shea Gilgeouses, Michael Porter Juniors. I mean, the list goes on and on. And, you know, we're pulling in dudes like Luka Samanic, you know, who didn't work out with their home. So let's hope we can continue to maneuver that way, maneuver those, you know, back channels, pull in some guys. You know, Mitchell Robinson could be another dude that we don't get any value from. You know, we were singing that praise after the year or two of that pick. Let's see. That's another huge story to come up to this season, this trade deadline, Divine. You know, what happens to Mitchell Robinson? He was looking to get paid. So far, he's been fighting off injury. He's looked great at times, and he's looked invisible at times too. So, I mean, we can't be living with that kind of inconsistency now. As an organization, it's time to start getting guys that can really produce.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think, like you said, we passed that. I think after this draft class right here, it's not going to be a lot of drafting going on. I think they're going to be going for the bigger things now. Whether they trade the draft picks or they push them back later, or whatever the case may be. But I do think that they're not going to be just going to bring draft. I didn't think they were going to bring them. It shocked me this year they drafted 4 people. I didn't think that was going to happen, but I do think that going into next season, if you got aspirations of winning, I don't know you're going to be able to win with a team full of young people. You know what I mean? So I do think there's going to be some wheeling and dealing and some shuffling and all that good stuff. And hopefully, whatever we do works out well for the Knicks and makes us a better team all around. And put some W's on the board, and it gets us to our ultimate goal, which is to go to the playoffs and try to get out of the second round. And I'm still holding firm to that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to give up on the team because we're down in the loser streak. We're not the only ones in the NBA with a loser streak. Wizards done lost 3 in a row. The Heat done lost 2 in a row. I mean, the Cavaliers done lost. So we're not the only ones losing. It's just so disappointing because we expect our team to be better than what they are and the way they're playing. And it's not so much about the loser for me. It's just the way you're playing. So let's hope that we can get this thing corrected, man, and then we get back up in this thing in the NBA and we get into that, man, because the NBA is a juggernaut in the East right now. Teams is losing all the time. Like it's amazing. We haven't played in a couple of days and we haven't lost no ground because a lot of other teams have beat each other up. So hopefully that it continues, man. But we would love to get some wins in here. Then we can separate ourselves a little bit from some of these teams. Because after the 12th spot, I don't think anybody else, the 3 last teams, the Indiana Pacers 10-16. I don't see them catching fire and then wind up coming out. I don't think that's going to happen. So hopefully we can get better, move up, get back to 500 the first step, get to Alamo tomorrow, because the East is crazy right now. If you look at the standards and the way things are going in there.
Yeah, it is, man. It's every single day is like it's like the stock. Like you said, the stock exchange,
Mm-hmm.
numbers going up, numbers going down, teams going up, teams going down, consistency, and that's always the case in the first quarter of the season. There's not quite separation yet.
Mm-hmm.
The closer from here on out, teams are going to start separating themselves, the boys from the men, the winners from the losers. And I think that, we need to, look ahead, also the front office is evaluating. They're evaluating the performances of every player right now. We've got RJ Barrett extension eligible for a max. We've got Mitchell Robb extension needing to be paid. Kevin Knox coming to the end of his deal. So trades are going to happen. But the NBA, like you touched on, let's touch on some other news and scores. Because there's a lot of buyers and sellers coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. For the NBA news and scores, let's just go through the Eastern Conference right now and look at where the teams are at, see where we're at compared to these teams. And right now, the Brooklyn Nets, they're sitting at 16-7, number 1. The Bulls are sitting at number 2, 17-8 on a 4-game winning streak. The Bucks is 16-9 at number 3 on a 2-game winning streak. The Heat is at number 4, 14-11 on a 2-game losing streak. And the Wizards is 14-11 on a 3-game losing streak. The Celtics is number 6, 13-11 on a 1-game winning streak. The Sixers, Joel Embiid is holding them down pretty good. They number 7 on a 2-game winning streak. Then the Hornets, depleted as they are, they 14-12 and they're in the 8th spot. Cavaliers is 13-12. They're on the 9th spot. They're on a 2-game losing streak. As of not updated fully today, the Atlanta Hawks is 13-12. They are sitting at number 10, and we at number 11-12. We got the Raptors at 11-13. We got the Pacers at 10-16. We have the Magic at 5-19, and the last but not least, the Pistons at 4-19. So we sit at the 11th spot, and like I said, the East is like it's 4 teams right there with 12 losses, 4 teams with 11 losses. So it's a matter about everybody trying to get on the streak and to separate themselves. Not that we need to be in that conversation. Let's not hope this thing. In the next, I guess we can judge about 5 games. we got to hope that we playing 500 ball from here on out, and even a little bit more like above 500 ball, and maybe we can play 600 ball, and it might be different. But we definitely got to try to make that move because the East is a hot mess right now. Everybody bunched together.
Yeah, real talk. And we had some incredible wins, if you think about it, in this first quarter of the season. Opening night, 2 against Philly. Who else did we beat? Chicago, in Chicago. Some quality wins. But on the flip side, unfortunately, we had just some horrible losses that I didn't expect us to have. So, Jekyll and Hyde, no consistency whatsoever. Tom Thibodeau is frustrated, doesn't know what he's going to get from a nightly basis. We've got a blend of young and older players. That's probably what you're going to get still. The younger players are still trying to find their way in the league. We're going to find out how the other teams value these players, Divine. What kind of value does a Mitchell Robinson have on the block? What kind of value do the team see in RJ Barrett, Kevin Knox? And that's going to be critical to the success of this season. I still think we're very capable. We're only 1 game under. We hit the road now. We just can't fall in a deeper hole because it's just going to be tough. We're going to be fighting in that play-in spot the whole way.
Yeah, absolutely. And it all starts tomorrow down here in San Antonio. That's going to be a tough game for us, believe it or not. I got a feeling that if we go play our A game, we could fight and scrap against anybody. But we got to go in San Antonio tomorrow and play hard because, like I said, man, we lose tomorrow. We're 11-13. And that puts us down at number 12 with the Raptors. And then we got the Raptors on I think it's Saturday or whatever the case may be. So, we got our work cut out for us, man. We got to go down here and fight and claw. Actually, we got on Friday, I beg your pardon. We got to go down here and try to get these W's to stay competitive in this Eastern Conference thing until we kind of let the dust settle and the smoke clear. I do think the Kemba Walker thing could have been kind of like a team distraction. You know what I mean? It could have shook a lot of them guys up. Like, wow, if he bench Kemba Walker, who say won't happen to me? You don't think that might have been in the back of Fournier's mind or RJ's mind? Like, they benched Kemba Walker, I could be next. So them things can mess with your head, with your psyche, and how you thinking about the wrong thing when you should be thinking about playing basketball, but you're not thinking about playing basketball. You're thinking about whether my position safe or not, or I'm going to get it benched. So let's hope that that didn't affect the team, man. But I do think it might have had a little bit of effect on it because to lose Kemba Walker and then lose 3 games in a row, that could have messed with the psyche of anybody, to be honest with you.
Yeah, part of this optimism this season was that energy that the acquisition of Kemba gave this squad, and just for the teammates to all see him in the locker room and see him sitting on the bench cheering this early in the season. It just, man, it's just surreal. But, I want to hit up some lay it out there too,
Okay.
We'll introduce this segment, a lay it out there, a bold prediction and a safe bet coming up. And I've got one safe bet. I'll touch on my bold prediction first. I think my bold prediction, the New York Knicks will go 2-1 on this stretch. These 3 games coming up, I think we'll win 2 of the 3. And my safe bet is going to be looking ahead to the December 15. My safe bet is that I think we'll see a move pretty quickly. I think within maybe December 15, 16, 17, we'll see the New York Knicks make a move that close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my bold prediction for me, CT, is that within this 3-game road trip, Amanda Quickly or Obi Toppin will be in a starting lineup. One of them will be in a starting lineup. I'm going to make that bold prediction that one of them guys might get thrust into that starting lineup. And for me to lay it out there, I'm going to go with the lay it out there is that I do think Kemba Walker will be moved around the 15th.
Yep. Kemba, yeah. I can see that. If we did see reports, and the person reported it escapes me, so apologies. But there were reports that 4 teams inquired with the New York Knicks the day after the Thibodeau announced that he was out of the rotation. there was a report that 4 teams had reached out to the New York Knicks. So I can only imagine by now there's got to be more. Looking at their roster, everyone's evaluating. You see, okay, the New York Knicks don't need Kemba anymore. He's sitting on the bench. They're going to move him. I want to get in on that. One, it's a beautiful $8 million deal. Easy. It's going to, one more year left. Good locker room guy, good experience, good vet. $8 million, easy to absorb, easy to trade. And maybe we could get a starting small forward, maybe not just for Kemba, maybe a couple picks, but $8 million, $10 million, that's around the range where we might be able to find ourselves a wing defender.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that would definitely be my my prediction in my 5, because I do think that will change. And I do think a change is coming in New York, man. So we gotta hope it's changed for the better. But I definitely think that Obi Toppin, or man, it could be one of them cats gonna be thrown in that starting lineup.
Yep. Yeah. The buzz is growing. It's getting louder and louder. This has been the real buzz. A lot of things swirling, Divine. But I'm excited. Let's keep the train rolling. 3 important games coming up. Salute to everybody checking us out. Appreciate you. On our post games, our pre games, Knicks Real Talk. The streets are buzzing. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We've got a lot of big things, big shows coming up for you. Like I said, some guests that'll come through. Yeah, man. This season's just getting started. Divine, really.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I want to salute to everybody, man, for checking us out. The Real Buzz is a great platform that we have here, man, where we be able to talk Knicks without disruptive audiences, just to be able to speak our opinions and our thoughts and ideas. So everybody, y'all look for this video, man. Y'all like and subscribe to the channel. Look at them. I hope y'all enjoy the content, and we're gonna keep bringing to you, man. Knicks Real Talk. The streets are buzzing. We look forward to bringing you this content to the Knicks fan base and the NBA fan base more often, more than less. Y'all just look out for the videos, and then when you hear Knicks Real Talk, you hear the streets of buzzing. You hear the real buzz, because that's what it's combined up. The real buzz, real talk, and the streets of buzzing. We are the real buzz. This is me and CT's video segment where we drop knowledge about the Knicks and the NBA, man. So we appreciate y'all coming in, and make sure y'all check out the content on the next one. Like CT said, we got guests coming through, a lot of good things popping off, man. So y'all stay tuned to the channels, and we'll see y'all on the next one, man. The Real Buzz, CT, the streets of buzzing, Divine. We out of here, man. Until the next one, we see you guys. We appreciate it, man. Y'all have a good one.
Peace.